Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Birminology on Lettermen Row. I am your host, Jeremy Birmingham. Today, I'm in Findlay, Ohio, and talking to our first 2023 prospect on the show. This is Luke Montgomery. Luke, talk to people. Who the heck is Luke Montgomery? Why am I here? What makes you a guy that Ohio State recruiting fans and football recruiting fans need to know about?
My name's Luke Montgomery. I've been an athlete my whole life. I've loved playing football and basketball. My dad played at Miami. My mom just played throughout high school, and I just love playing sports. And obviously, my dream is playing at Division I college, Power 5, and succeed from there.
Like a lot of kids who grew up in Ohio, there's probably some affinity for the Buckeyes. Well, that's not really a major part of where the story goes for you from here, unless, they eventually end up offering you a scholarship. You're, 6'4", 6'5", almost, 265 pounds.
Yep.
Just finished freshman year of high school. What did your freshman year of high school teach you? How much varsity did you play? What kind of numbers you put up? What did you learn about yourself this last year?
Okay, so this year was kind of like a feeling year to figure out where I'm going to be at. So I had 4 sacks, 35 tackles, and 12 tackles for a loss, which for me I was like, wow, that's pretty good. So I probably have a future in playing football and not basketball. So last year I played defense. I started at defensive end, played some deep tackle, and then I also was a long snapper, and I also played usually a lot of special teams, and then also played some tight end. But this year, I'll play all around. I think I'll play D tackle, defensive end, tight end, long snapper, maybe even some O-line if I'm a second team. So
when I walked out here to the field, Luke was playing catch with, I assume, your little brother.
Yeah.
And just casually, left-handed thrower, tossed the ball 60 yards, no crow hop, no nothing. There's a different type of athlete here. You're also one of the premier basketball players for your age in the state of Ohio, playing on some big-time AAU teams around the country. You played for Lebron James' team. You got to meet LeBron a few times, I'm sure. What is it that you see out of guys like that you can kind of pick and choose or to use as a way to mold yourself for the future?
Yeah, so I faced some adversity, and that helped me too, for sure. Just playing in front of everybody and just seeing LeBron show up to a game, that's really cool. But it just shaped me as a person to hopefully become a better human being and just motivate myself to see what I can do off and on the field, and just grow. It shows you how to grow up quick, pretty much.
Do you worry that all this attention on the basketball travel, the football attention that's starting to come, do you worry that maybe you grow up too fast?
I can turn a flip and switch on and off to see what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. Holy cow, I forget. No, honestly.
It can be a lot of pressure, right? You can have this world because that opportunity is a big blessing, but at the same time, there's going to get moments where it's too much and you're going to need to be able to shut everything down. How well prepared for that do you think you are?
I think I'm prepared. I faced adversity a lot, especially with that LeBron's team. And just knowing that that's happened to me, and just I've grown up fast, is like you're always going to face adversity, right? So in life alone, I think I'll be ready for those steps, either whether it's negative or positive.
What's the offer situation like right now for you, football-wise? How many schools have reached out? Who are you hearing from the most?
I have an offer from Western Michigan. Right now, I've been in touch with Indiana, Purdue, Ohio State, Michigan State, West Virginia. I talked to Notre Dame before, talked to Coach Elston there. I think Indiana, Ohio State, Michigan State, and West Virginia are probably the top ones right now. I usually talk to them about every 1 or 2 weeks.
It's been primarily Ohio State staff member Tim Hinton who started the process and kind of, I think, discovered you when it comes to the Ohio State staff. Again, growing up as a kid in Ohio, is it crazy to be on the phone talking to people who coach football at Ohio State? Has that sort of resonated with you yet, or does it even faze you?
Not really. I mean, I just try to work hard and see where I can become better and everything. No, that's pretty. I think it's awesome that Ohio State's been in touch with me, and I just think that's a first step. And I'm just really excited to see where it goes from there. And I'm very humbled and blessed to be able to be in that position to possibly have a chance to play at a Power 5 school.
Like most kids around the country, you've kind of had this summer off in a way. You are playing basketball, back to playing on the road. You said you've been playing in Indiana the last few weeks in games and that kind of stuff. What have you done, Luke, to really try to prepare yourself for the sophomore year? Because you're going to need to take a leap to get that conversations with places like Purdue, Indiana, Michigan State, etc., to take that conversation to the next level to an offer. Where do you think that you have the biggest steps to make?
Yeah, definitely first step off the ball, just being more aggressive and just going towards the ball. I mean, I thought a lot last year, like I would always just go up to the line and just hit them and just think. So I can't do that anymore. I just got to be a quick get to them and pull them and find where the ball is. And obviously, I've really succeeded in the weight room this past year. I went from about 225 on bench to 300 pounds and squat and just deadlifts for sure. Just been a succeed in that, and obviously my stamina as well for sure to get that all the way up. And I've been in a lot better shape for sure as of right now than I've ever been in.
We've talked before we started the recording here a little bit about Larry Johnson and the way that he coaches and the way that he develops defensive linemen, and that is probably where your college football future will end up, is on the defensive line. Are there any guys in recent years that you've sort of watched and said, okay, that could be my body type, maybe I can pick and choose something from that player's game? Because I see 6'5", 265 as a sophomore, and I see like Brian Brise, the number one defensive tackle in the country, who ended up signing with Clemson. I mean, are you watching your peers? Or are you watching Chase Young? I mean, because everyone watches those guys, but who are you really paying attention to?
I've been paying attention to Brian Brise. I've talked to him actually on Instagram a couple times, and for sure, body type wise, I mean, I could end up definitely being about 300 pounds and 6'5" right now, and just being able to run is my top thing, or just being able to get off the ball quick. And so Brian Brise. I've watched Chase Young a lot, Tyreek Smith as well, Stephon Tuitt from
Notre Dame back in the day.
Yeah, Notre Dame and Steelers right now. Aaron Donald a lot too. So I watch his hand motions and what he does. So I gotta go off from there, from all those guys.
How long have you been playing football?
7th grade was my first year.
Okay, so now you're entering your 10th grade year. So this will be the 4th year you've played football. Did you ever think that like this could be the path? Because you do, like a lot of guys, and like Jack Sawyer, who's obviously a 5-star defensive end in the class of 2021, Cade Stover, who was a 4-star linebacker in the class of 2019. A lot of these guys, Tyreek Smith is one of them. He loved playing basketball, and I think he liked basketball more than football.
I definitely love basketball more than football.
How do you get to love football?
I just think just being able to go out and throw people around. Like, I've always been that kid that probably just like tries to roughhouse around. So playing football is the way to roughhouse for me. And obviously basketball will always be my favorite sport in my opinion. Since I was like probably 5 or 6, I started playing basketball.
And that's because Luke told me that he has family members who were close to 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
And he could have gotten to that height, probably not going to at this point, right?
Probably not.
So once he realized that he wasn't going to get to be 7 foot tall, it was time to maybe start shifting the dreams, because there's a lot of guys who don't make it playing basketball at your position, your height,
at least
weight.
6'5", yeah, for sure.
So now that football is like the path, where do you see that you need to take and get better on the field? I mean, if I watch your tape and I'm here, this is new for me. Like I said, you're the first player on this show that hasn't had like an Ohio State offer already. So we're branching out, right?
Yeah.
I watch your tape, and the obvious things are there, the size, the way you move. But sometimes maybe like you're not angry enough, right? Like because you seem like a nice guy. How do you get pissed off? And how do you then take that and make sure that that's coming out when you're doing the work?
I think obviously just playing football, I mean, I get to another energy level. Just that I just start to become faster, angrier. For sure going to have to work on that this year. And I believe in myself that I could definitely have a goal of at least 10 sacks and maybe even more. And definitely with my strength and stuff and just getting off the ball faster, which all that is I've definitely grown into that. And last year was like my first year of like playing like a real football.
Right.
Like middle school, that was fun, but it wasn't very helpful to me. But
in basketball, you need to control your anger, right? You people whack you have to calm yourself down. Football, you have to almost ramp yourself up to prepare for the every play rigor. Is that in you? Is that part of your DNA? Is that part of your personality?
When I could turn it on, turn it off. Definitely on the football field, I could turn it on. Now this year, upcoming year, I'm hoping to just have a bunch of goals of mine on offense and defense, and just play off the ball fast and just be where I need to be.
So we're entering the sophomore season of high school here at Findlay High School. The hope is that football and everything gets back to normal. You're hoping to be able to take visits and see schools when the season starts. I'm going to exclude Ohio State because I know that the Buckeyes are going to be on that list for you of where you want to go, who you want to see, what schools you want to check out. Who else is really on that early short list for like the dream schools?
Dream schools. I mean, obviously I'm very blessed for every school, and I would definitely look into every school. But I love Notre Dame. I was down there this year. Michigan State, definitely Penn State or Clemson. Like I don't know if maybe LSU. Depends. I'd rather visit them and see then what I like and just take that from there. But all those schools that I've listed, and maybe possibly even more, are definitely schools I'd be interested in.
Is there a best memory of growing up in Ohio? Again, you can say you're probably a Buckeyes fan growing up. Maybe not anymore because you've got to try to put that side of things away for your future. What was the moment that you remember the most about being a Buckeye fan growing up, and that kind of encapsulates the excitement of hearing from them on the recruiting trail?
Definitely the Michigan-Ohio State game a couple years ago when Samuel scored. I was at that game. I was just excited to be there, and that was even before like I played LeBron's team, and I saw LeBron there, and I was like, "Holy cow, it's LeBron!" And just like looking back on that now, I just think that's crazy how blessed and humbled I should be about even Ohio State talking to me, and just I think it's awesome that I have that memory, especially now in this time. So
what's crazy is that was going on 5 years ago. That was the 2016 Ohio State Michigan game in Ohio Stadium. It's now 2020. You're 15 years old. You were 10 years old at that time.
10 years old.
Like, is it possible to even like write out this change in life? I mean, you go from seeing LeBron on the sideline and going, "Oh my gosh, that's LeBron James," to playing on his team and getting to meet him and get to talk to him about basketball, to watching Ohio State play Michigan in one of the greatest games in the history of that rivalry.
Yep.
To now having phone calls with Ohio State about potentially playing football there when you're done. There's a long way to go. You got 2 years left of the real heavy recruiting, and then your senior year when you hopefully, I mean, would you want to have a decision made by then?
I would for sure probably have a decision made by my senior year, if not a little earlier.
Growing up in Ohio, the core guys on the Ohio State Buckeyes football team have always been Ohioans, right? There's yourself and Brennan Vernon over there at Menor, and Trevor Carter down in Ironton, a teammate of Reed Carrico's. And you guys are all kind of starting to pop up and percolate, and you see names, and Notre Dame's interested in this person, Notre Dame's calling here, Ohio State. Have you guys begun conversations about like, whoa, what would it mean, or how are you guys going to handle this? Because having your peers who are going through the same thing with you has to be an incredible advantage.
I talked to Trevor a couple times, but and Brandon Vernon, I talked to him yesterday about how high school going and stuff, but never got to that point yet. I mean, out of all the people I've talked to Tegra and that Jair and Ben Chrisman are the three that I've been in touch with the most. And just from there, I need to go down and work out with them sometime just to talk around what they're feeling, what they feel about their way of committing. And my dad actually played with Paris Johnson's dad, and we went down to a game this year. Coach Wilson invited me down, and we've talked to him for a while about it. And I just, whatever the best way for me and my family is, I'm going to take.
Those kind of ties are interesting. We're here in Findlay. This is, Luke Montgomery, who is playing here. He said the new weight room here is all Ben Roethlisberger, donated and all that kind of stuff.
Our football team this year can do some good damage.
What is the expectation for you entering your sophomore season? What's the ceiling for your team and yourself personally? How do you think that this year goes?
I think we can win a track this year. I think we really believe in ourselves, and with our new coach, Pease, Dean Pease' son, he just moved in a couple weeks ago. Everyone loves him. We're always there with each other, and we just had a talk yesterday about just believing in each other and sticking with each other through hard and thick and skinny.
Thin, sure.
Thin, yeah.
That works.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Look, this is the beauty. See, Luke Montgomery here, class of 2023, Findlay, Ohio. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. You're going to hear a lot about Luke over the next few years, and Luke is probably going to get a whole lot better at talking to a camera because you're going to get used to it, right? But hey, that's the beauty of what we're doing. This has been Birminology on Lettermen Row, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and we got Buck IQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.